video speeds. I am getting the stream up, and we are going live in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome, Black Hollywood Live fans. You are watching the Aftershow for Greenleaf, Season 2, Episode 15, 2x2. We are joined by actor Benjamin Patterson, Season 1's Noah. Stay tuned for more. Hey, what's up, Greenleaf fans? If you watch today's episode, you know the song is very appropriate for tonight. Again, my name is Shaka Smith. You guys can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at Shaka Strong. Where can they find you, Ms. Trinidad?
I mean, you're so... I must say that I've had a couple shows with you, and your broadcasting style, you just took it to a whole nother level. It was very smooth.
Oh, I'm trying. Might be the music.
He's Shaka strong.
Shaka smooth tonight.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Slow jams.
Can't follow that with anything, but my name is TK Trinidad. You can find me on everything at TK Trinidad. To bring it down just a little bit, now earthquakes, hurricanes been happening everywhere. You go on redcross.org/disaster relief to donate money, clothes, all that great stuff, because people need to help people.
Oh, yeah, they do.
Don't go to TK's house.
Right, she's not keeping you.
Donate, but don't go to TK's house.
And we're the 90s vibe today, actually, over here with our...
Jean Jacket Squad.
You know, we're out here, gang. But if you want to be a part of my gang, then you can follow me on at Raquel Harris TV on all social media. My name is Raquel Harris.
I can't stand anyone. My name is Nakia Monet. You can find me on all social media at Kiki Boom Boom. Yeah.
And our guest, Mr. Benjamin Patterson, where can they find you?
Hey, what's up, everybody? Benjamin Patterson. You can find me on Instagram at Benjamin Patterson all day, and on Twitter at Ben Just Creates to find out what's going on with me.
Follow him on Instagram, though. Those pictures,
love
popping.
him.
Yes.
I got something for it, y'all.
And his baby.
Well, we got to
So
thank you
cute.
for joining us again. We really appreciate
Thank you.
it.
I really appreciate coming back. This is great. You guys are wonderful.
So, we just got to a very intense episode of Greenleaf. Quite intense. I guess let's kind of start it off with, let's just talk about right into it, the Bishop and Lady Mae. That was just...
So much shade.
Yeah.
From Bishop.
I mean,
Yeah.
from season 1 through now, it's like
Okay.
you've always been kind of suspecting.
Something went on. There's a bigger backstory, and then now they kind of dropped it in real quick. We got all the tea.
But I
real
like
quickly.
it, though, like straight to the point.
Yeah. What did you guys think about, especially you, all the revelations that came out in this one episode?
Yeah, it's pretty fascinating at the tangled web that has been woven. The weave masters have been at it because it's not there's no clear bad person in any of these situations. There's always a but wait a minute, and then there's a but you kind of did this, you know what I mean? So that's kind of Bishop's. I think his stance is strong, but there is a slight crack in it in the foundation where he's like, but what about you?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, we got a little bit of that Mavis tea real quick, so we kind of know.
That's cool.
But I mean, I suspected it last season because she kind of, like Oprah's character Mavis, kind of said something when they were having that walk. And I'm like, did he creep with the sister? Remember they had that dinner and they were all throwing like subtle shade at each other? So that I think it was not funny, but kind of sad that, because we picked it up last week where he picked up everything at that dinner. Yeah. He was picking up the vibes. He was picking up vibes from his so-called best friend. And he hit him with the shade like, oh, I know what's up. Subtle shade. And she knew deep down that he knew something was going on.
Yeah.
I'm like, no.
I mean, I hate to say that, but I feel like it's kind of like, oh, well, that's what you get, Lady Mae. Like, I mean, it sucks. Like, I don't want to see, you know, a marriage in turmoil, but at the same time, it's like, well, I mean, you reap what you sow, so.
But according to her,
Kevin
it was
Hart going on right now.
You know what?
And she wasn't.
Hashtag Kevin Hart.
But she didn't have the I've been paying from the hashtag Kevin Hart.
TK said it. I'm just repeating.
But she wasn't paying from the earlier cheating by Bishop, which we didn't even know that she knew. We knew that it might have taken
Right.
place. We didn't know she knew about it.
Right.
She said it was kind of like a pay you back. I'm in pain, and I'm like, it's so hilarious because like Bishop's like really hurt, and he's like the reason he was hurt because she held this down for so long.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, because you cheated on her with her sister.
But apparently she knew right away, or he let her
Right.
know.
But that's also that kind of like proud person's response.
Yeah.
Well, I'm hurt because you hurt me. Like,
Yeah.
Right. And y'all are Christians.
Come on.
I'm like, bro, but you did cheat on her with her sister.
Right.
And to his point is like, you know, my friend, I welcomed him into this home, but I kept saying like, that's her sister though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's my sister, and this is
Yeah.
your friend. Who is easily
F your
exposable.
friend.
Right.
I know bros before hoes,
I'm
but
married. married.
Come on now.
And
That's
we
my sister.
and we saw the bishop with Raquel too, like with. So, and from your perspective, so we know that you obviously crossed the line season 1 with your with your situation.
Yes, line crosser.
Do we think the bishop has already crossed the line with Raquel?
Yes.
Oh, maybe across the line.
Yeah.
I feel like it's one of those situations where the subtleties really do speak to what has happened as opposed to the subtlety of, oh, I'm gonna go after this person, because she's got the confidence of like, oh no, I'm in there, like this is
I'm
week,
cool.
This is week 2.
I'm young, I'm cute, and I got your man.
And I'm getting
Should he have not gone to the appointment, or should he have gone to the appointment?
Well,
It's her 5-year cancer screening. She's just given a check to the church. Does he go to the appointment or does he not?
well,
that
you just
crossing the line?
take it back to when she put her behind on his desk and made him food. Like that was crossing the line already.
That's
like,
the start.
Well, I don't think he knew. At that point, I just thought I really don't think he realized.
knew.
What was taking
look,
place.
I feel like if we're imagining that he's already slept with her, I mean, why not go to the...
But no, we're not imagining. Wait,
Oh.
do you think he's already slept with her?
Yeah, I mean, I think so.
You think the
You
bishop has already
he
slept
already
with her?
dipped in it?
Because why are you acting so weird?
Right, because why would he go? Like, if it was a platonic relationship,
Right.
and she
Right.
just happened to pop in, like, hey, oh, like, okay, cool, be back after your lunch break, you know? But he's like, no, hey, I think I'll go because I'm kind of vested.
really?
Because I feel like she has something on him, because at any point she can just tell Lady Mae.
Do you think
and
it's
it's like,
like-
I'm just trying to make her happy.
I think he wants to sleep with her.
I think so,
Like
too.
subconsciously, like, you know how you see somebody
Yeah.
and it's like you want to sleep with them, but you haven't crossed over just yet.
Mm-hmm.
But you would do the things that would appear like
Slept with.
yeah. So I think he wants to, but he hasn't just yet.
Yeah,
and
I don't
she's
think he
probably
has
waiting
yet.
for the river to part.
I would
later,
think they
later.
would give us a little bit more on that.
But I can see where these two are coming from though, because of the vibes that Rochelle was giving off like that, and like him checking her out as she's walking. But then I think, like TK said, I don't think they slept together yet, but I think
They
he
like
really
each other.
wants to.
Yeah, they like each other.
And do I think he
Ooh.
crossed the line? Yes, I did.
Somebody on the live chat says before Bishop dips into Rochelle, he should check her birth certificate because she could have been his child with Mavis.
no,
That's what I thought too.
no,
I thought that for a second though. Not with Mavis, but I thought that was his daughter at first.
But we've kept this pretty grounded, right?
I mean,
should be
this
a
show's been, we've watched a lot.
be a little bit of a crazy.
Imagine that.
But I kind of thought that that
She got
was what was
issues then.
happening. Like
Yeah.
I felt like he needed to be around, or he felt like he should be around because she holds some type of importance in her life, and we just don't know what that is right now. And we're assuming that it's something romantic just because she's an attractive woman and she's.
No.
But she's
Not
definitely.
attractive,
I mean-
she is fine.
She is
Yeah.
fine.
She
She's
is
definitely
like-
throwing him those
she is-
vibes that I want you
Yeah,
and you
that-
can take
And we know
this.
she's like the church thought. You know, she goes around
Yes.
church to
Okay,
church
Shaka.
to church. Right?
Wait, did you say
Church thought.
did you say church thought?
I'm trying to keep up with the times. Right?
Hashtag.
Hashtag
And I
church
agree.
thought.
Hashtag and I agree.
I'm trying to keep up with the
Ooh,
times.
You know what?
But no, yeah, she's the church thought.
Well, here's
Oh, you know now that
Yes,
you say it.
Shaka, actually.
here's the question: relationship wise, if you're in a relationship, do you have rules and regulations on how your partner interacts with the opposite sex?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you have basics, right?
You have basics, yeah.
So, but do
Yeah.
you discuss that, or
Or
do
are
you
they
think it should,
understood?
or do you think it's implied?
Some things come without saying, but I also think that it's like a situational type of thing. So if it happens, I can address it right then. No more of that. We're done. But I don't think you just sit down and say, okay, now we're boyfriend and girlfriend, or husband and wife, or boyfriend, whatever, and then you say, okay, now you can't do this when you go out.
Right.
Like I don't think anyone does that. I don't know if you guys have, but I don't, unless it happens and I'm like, okay, you shouldn't do this. But I don't just sit down and say, oh, these are the rules of our relationship.
Day one, I drop a book on the table.
Yeah, like I mean, you just
Page 5.
yeah, something.
Sign here, please.
I feel like some things come
I would
without
do that
saying.
though, for
Like,
real.
okay, one thing though I've always thought was interesting is that a lot of people have different opinions on when you're out with someone at a club and you're with your partner and they dance with someone else. So can they dance or well, you're not with your partner, they're at home. Can your partner dance with another person?
It depends on the.
If there's room for the Holy Ghost, you know.
You know what?
You gotta leave some space. You gotta leave some space.
Well, the Holy Ghost is,
I think it honestly depends with the person. Like I am a dancer, but I don't like people dancing with me. So like it is me and him, but I don't like some random dude coming posting up.
Yeah, it's
so
weird.
if he knows me well enough, he knows if I go to the club, I'm not gonna have some random dude. But if I've seen him in the club before we kind of became a couple, an item, and I see that he just likes to dance and that's how he does things, then I can kind of approach it from that way, and I can't get upset if that's how you were before. Like, I can't say, well, you have to stop dancing, because if that's something you genuinely like to do, just, don't get me wrong.
Just don't be sexual.
Well, it depends, because in the Caribbean culture, there's guys who bend women over and do all that stuff, and then they have their wives at home, or their wives are right there watching them. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's dependent on the relationship.
But I think it's clear the bishop is going over the line, and he knows he's taking it over the line.
Yes.
And he's almost throwing it in her face to a degree, because he's like, test me.
I think I'm about to say, I think a little bit more now that he knows that she had this affair with his friend. I think now he has that fire where he's like, well, I'm gonna go with her to the doctor. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do X, Y, and Z.
You even do what you want to do.
Pretty much, and waiting for her to ask him questions so he can be like, actually, you done had an affair with my friend, so don't ask me any questions.
Yeah.
It's a lot of weird stuff.
Well, the one interesting part of the episode was it looks like we have one escapee from the house, right? We posited a couple weeks ago that Noah, what is it, Ty White,
that they all have
Basie Skanks, that they're all in one house living together because we haven't seen them.
Kevin.
And Kevin, but we got Basie out. It looks
Basie's
like.
out the house. He's able to make
a phone call. He got one phone call.
He got you know what?
So, what do you guys think of what it looks like Tasha Skanks' new role may be in disrupting the Greenleafs, their family?
She gonna do anything for her boo.
Yeah, I felt that way as soon as he left. I was like, no, this isn't. And serious.
I always knew. I said to myself, I'm like, there's no way he's gonna let this go. The whole story about Bishop killing his father and the fire, because I'm like, this is too easy.
Absolutely.
I'm like, when he leaves, he's gonna have a plan because he wants to get Bishop and the Greenleafs back so bad. So the fact that he called Tasha, and she's a prodigy,
and she got to take up the mantle now because it looks like it's not looking well.
I think that he knows. Basie knows that that's his weak spot.
Yes.
That's his weak spot. So just slide her right in.
Literally.
Let her do her thing.
You notice how she changed her outfit, a little tight dress.
Yeah.
Right.
She usually wears like big, crazy looking things, and she came with a cute, simple, tight
I'm ready
dress.
to steal your man.
She came in there like Beyonce down.
She had the blowout, the wash and set, the simple dress.
Wash and set.
Wash and set.
Learn about it, y'all. Washandset.com.
The wash and go.
The wash and go.
She was ready.
She was ready.
Yeah, and we got a little bit of a Jacob drama with I forget the character's names who insists that he shouldn't be really working with the homeless because of the financial difficulties.
Is that her
Brittany,
name?
Yeah. Brittany.
Over her.
I just feel like I understand that if you're the treasurer, like obviously do your job in making sure that the church is financially stable. But at the same time, I feel like she's just trying to be a damper in his life. Like you're just wanting to be negative instead of trying to like. If you call out the issues, have a solution. Since you're the treasurer too. Like don't just say, okay, well this is all happening that's negative. What are you going to do about it? Like, this is why I'm calling you as a team to come and figure out the issues together.
But she seems like unusually skeptical about the finances, and I'm wondering if there's more there. Like,
she either wants to be pastor herself, or she's upset that Basie left,
or she likes him.
That is true.
Because I mean, look at him. He's in the position of power. He's charismatic. He's a big guy. He's powerful. He's present. So I mean, she's like, okay, this is 5th grade. I like you. Boom. You know what I mean?
That is true. Because she was working with Basie. He's like 2 feet tall.
Right. She was like, everything's good, baby. I got this. Don't worry about it. And him is like, no.
Or she knows about some of the stuff that Basie's done, and so she's like, I don't know what to
she's
do.
concerned about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was odd that whole tenor though.
It was a little randomly thrown in there. Like, okay.
But I like that he was able to prove her wrong.
Yeah.
That was a good highlight.
Yeah, a nice little. But did he make a deal with the devil in doing so? That's
Yeah.
The old deal with the devil move.
Yeah. we'll have to talk about that in predictions. But we have to talk about the slap heard around the world.
My goodness.
Shut up,
Here we are. No, it was though.
I got slapped.
That was a heck of a slap. I mean, that was loud. I don't know if they
slap her,
yeah,
and it was well due.
Did the ADR? I mean, that slap was loud.
No, it was, and she needed to hear it from miles away.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, what did
It
you
is unfortunate.
what did you guys think about that whole exchange? The fact that she's having sex, but
I need Zora to stop talking about something. What are you doing in my room? Like she's too grown for me.
Surprised
like,
she was still standing. All those questions. She was
okay,
questioning her mama.
what are you doing in my room, girl? What are you doing in my house? Actually, what are you doing in my clothes?
You pay these bills?
Those lunch tickets that you get at school.
That's mine.
You're eating my food. Actually, the lights that you're using.
That's their fault though. They didn't establish it. Like
I don't feel like it's their fault as a parent because I mean, and this is just me. I feel like a parent can only do so much. If your child is not disclosing stuff to you, and you're asking them the questions, but you also don't want to invade their privacy and how they feel. Like, I know that
their privacy should be invaded. Like, for her to ask, "What are you doing in my room?" Like, there should be an automatic. Like, my mom did pop-ups. Like, "Oh, hey, how you doing?" Like,
my mom.
"Oh, hey, how?"
It's a test.
Yeah.
That door had to stay open.
Yeah, my door couldn't be closed.
Yeah,
My door was locked.
and locked. Like that's not a thing. So for her to have the audacity that what are you doing in my room? That means her door was probably closed a lot. Her door was probably locked. She probably made her parents knock on the door, which is fine to a certain extent. If you're in the bathroom, hey, nobody wants to see other people poop. But other than that, I pay the bills.
I wish I would ask my mother, "What are you doing in her?"
Yeah, no, I would never say, I mean, she's obviously trying to cover herself up, but I mean, I think it's sad. I'm glad that Zora was as nude about it as she was. She was very raw and saying, you know, I did this because I thought it was a good decision, and she talked to her mother about it after the slap her around the world. But I mean, I thought it was
filling with that slap.
Yeah, I think that was a healthy moment between a mother and a daughter, where it's like, okay, I made this. I don't like that. Carissa was like, oh, well, you're not valuable if you have sex with it. It's like, okay, I understand that we're all Christians, but she's still just as valuable whenever she chooses to have sex.
But you mean she's not valuable to that guy?
No, well,
yeah,
for sure.
She's trying to instill the, like, hey, look, he may be telling you this.
Right.
But
if you actually wait, he's going to really respect
right.
you.
But she wasn't lying. Because when she said, when she was like, oh, well, I waited and that made your father respect me, and she's like, did it? But I was literally thinking, I was like, Zora, man, I'm glad you said it, because I was, because you cheated on.
Respect in that moment when he did ask her to marry her. Maybe for that moment he didn't cheat on her. Maybe for that moment she was the one he chose to ask to marry because he did respect her. Now, respect in a different way, rather. You know
and that's how we always say, like, parents have to be careful when they're in front of their kids, especially their growing kids, and they're doing things and they're saying certain things, because she's seen their whole crazy relationship played out in front of her. The cheating, the emotional, the verbal abuse. So that's why parents have to be careful. And yes, she was totally right, but she deserved that slap.
Yeah,
even if you don't disrespect
your
your
mother. You shouldn't talk to your mother. Yeah, you don't talk to your mother.
Even on that note too, it's just kind of like, you have to be careful as women, and it sucks. We're still in that era. Is that you have to be careful. So she started at this age. She gave it away so quickly, and she continues giving it away so quickly. You know, it's not a numbers game per se, but if Tom, John, Luke, Matthew, Mark, and all of them know you, then Robert's not going to want to propose.
Because the whole Bible.
Ronnie, Bobby, Ricky, and Mike.
Right. Jamal.
Then Michael or whoever's not gonna. That's gonna be an issue. So you have to treat it as if it's something special. If you want to give it away, then know there's consequences in giving it away. If you want to treat it like it's special, then you treat it as is. So you have those two choices. But
I mean, I have a altered opinion.
No,
what is your opinion?
Yeah. No, I mean, I just feel like she's too young. She's absolutely too young to be having sex right now. But at the same time, do I think that a woman having multiple sexual partners is something that makes her feel less valuable or makes her, I guess, naive or silly? I don't think so.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying realize that there are consequences in everything that you do.
For sure.
So if you choose to, have fun and do all of that, the smart thing to do is spread out your fun in different area codes. But if you're gonna do it in
505.
Hello. 505.
What kind of advice are you giving right now?
Yeah, I was like, I don't know if that's. I mean,
I'm just messing in that surface. But I'm just saying, if you're gonna do that, you also have to know that there's consequences to those situations.
But so the consequences is that the men may know each other.
The consequences is that as women, we still have those stereotypes on us. Still have those stereotypes on us. So if you choose to do that, just know that the consequences of you having that stereotype.
Just realize that you live in a patriarchal world.
Exactly.
Where,
not saying that you should or should not do it.
Right.
Just realize that there's consequences to it. And if at the end goal is for you want to be treated like a queen and you want to be cherished, then probably not sleeping with everybody on the football team is the right way to go.
At 16 or 17.
At 16.
At the end,
yes.
So sleep with a football team at 21.
Do
so
what
then
you
might
want.
come out.
Yeah,
you
do what
You could vote.
Okay, and I can enlist in the army, I'm fine. And I pay my own bills, I'm fine. But if I feel like doing John, Luke, James,
I'm not saying you cannot do Matthew, Luke, and John, but I'm just saying
the perception
if you want
absolutely,
of value
but see,
will be different.
Not value. If you want a husband, then sleeping with Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, none of them gonna marry you.
No, because you can
2017. I mean,
But see, even
Yeah,
still,
iced tea and cocoa.
a woman, if she wants to sleep with 10 men or one, she could still be perceived as a hoe regardless, just
Right.
because people are going to be like, oh, well, you slept with somebody
Yeah.
and it doesn't
Very
matter.
to be a virgin is to be
Very
perceived
And
as a hoe.
exactly.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't matter. So for me, I mean, I understand what you're saying though, but for women, I just really hope that you, with your sexuality, liberate it the way you want to.
Right.
And if it's not, your body is your temple, and you're free to do whatever you want with it. So don't feel like society needs to beat you up and say you're a hoe or you're this, you're that, because you're not. And don't compare your situation to a man's either. Just do what you do and what makes you happy. Period. Point blank.
Right.
Drops mic.
But
Hashtag.
But I think I thought the bigger concern
I like
for
how
me.
this. And what?
No, I just, I'm not saying go, oh, I love Amber Rose, but I'm not saying
Yeah,
do,
we got Slut Walk coming up. It's coming
Shout
up,
out to
right?
the Slut
You know.
Walk.
Yeah, what is it, October
Are we all
1st?
going?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we're gonna
Yes, I'm
group.
Yeah.
Are you gonna have your shirt off or on?
Off. He
Shout out
works
to
out.
the Shaka have it off, honey.
I'll be wearing a
all
robe, a tunic,
going.
and it'll be fine.
Yes.
No, but I was actually more concerned about Zora and kind of the way she was accepting the.
Why are
Why
we
we
sleeping with the disciples? That's TK.
Well, Jesus was best friends with a prostitute.
Yeah, I was
so
more
hey.
concerned
Okay.
about Zora and her acceptance of it looks like the abuse of
Right.
Yeah, that's horrible.
Yeah.
of the boyfriend, because you see her hiding it from her mom, and I was almost when she got slapped, I was like, you deserved it, but I was like, oh no, another message
Yeah,
of
I thought about that
acceptance
too.
of this abuse, and I have no choice in the situation, so it's almost normalizing the abuse.
Yeah,
I
because
thought about
it
that.
was like a very silent, and they made the moment very, they prolonged that moment for her turning away and
Yeah.
kind of sinking in her being hit by
Yeah.
another person that she loves.
Yeah.
And I paid attention to that too. That was very hard to watch because I feel like,
It reinforced.
yeah, and Zora's already in such a sensitive place where she needs the most comfort from her mother, and
Yeah.
now it's like it's just coming back at her. But I hope she can distingush between why my mother.
Yeah,
actually-
but it's
Probably
tough
not.
because I was
Yeah.
like dying for her to get slapped for such a long
Me
time. And I was like,
too.
now's not the right time. You know what I mean?
But then it sucks because her parents have no idea what's happening.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
gonna be a bomb that drops.
Can't
boy.
wait for
Yeah.
that. You know what I'm saying? So I think I'm happy that her and Carissa had that talk. I'm happy she got slapped because she was being disrespectful to her mother. But I am happy that finally mom, because I think we've been talking about this on the past episodes, like finally someone's like, what's going on? Like, what are
Yeah.
you doing? We're noticing that you're wearing long sleeves. You're locking your door. She finds the condom. So I'm happy that they had that talk.
See, the thing is, and it's the society, we're in just a totally different world right now. The thing is, after the slap, she needs to go back and look at, because it's out of frustration that happened, right? So, okay, now your daughter's at this position. Like, how did she get to the point where it's
Right.
okay to talk back at me?
Right.
And that's a step that, due to life, we tend not to look at. So I hope this is something that they take a step back and explore. It's like, okay, wait a minute. Okay, she talked back to me. I punished her, but why? How did we get to here?
Right.
Because she's been doing that
Right.
from
Fresh.
first season 1.
Yeah.
Sniffing that Adderall.
Oh.
Yeah.
You know, we always talk about
About
that. All that Adderall.
Oh, that Adderall.
I can't.
I want to say they've addressed a lot of issues, obviously sexual abuse and domestic abuse, and we talk about it with African American families. And I know that you are going to be hosting the Breaking the Silence Awards coming up,
Very
and
good.
it deals
Yeah.
with the sexual and domestic abuse. What do you think about that, especially minority communities and how we deal with it?
It's a very interesting thing. I was actually interviewed on this yesterday. Actually, it's one of those things that the less people talk about something, the bigger the problems become. It's when the Zoras become, adults, and they're just like, okay, look, I've had it. It's something that's when people start talking and they give a voice to it, people will come out of the woodwork and say, yes, this happened to me too, or this is happening to
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's one of the things that kind of struck me, which is why I was honored to be asked to host this event.
Yeah. And so, what's the event completely about?
It's basically giving acknowledging celebrities and corporations that will actually give a voice to, and actually not necessarily just give a voice to, but shed light on situations that revolve around domestic abuse in the LGBT community as well as the general community.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah. Awesome. Good work. Good work.
Thank you, thank you,
And
thank you.
speaking of the LGBT community, we saw a little bit of embracing of the
Yay.
LGBT community.
That was interesting.
I never thought we'd see Carl. Like, that was one of the characters I thought we wouldn't see again.
Yeah.
We see Carlton
With his
coming back.
boo.
What do you guys think about the bishop completely embracing, it seems? the community? 'Cause it seems like he's now not willing just to be an exception. He's saying, just come to the church and we'll kind of
Yeah.
shift
I feel
to
like
the
he's
triumph
always been
model.
that guy.
He has always been that. I think because his wife is who she is.
Yes.
He's always had that person. Like I think Bishop and Gigi remind me of each other, where they've always had this way about them, where they've always had an open they've always had an open heart, open mind. But I think he's always had his wife kind of
in his ear.
kind of in his ear. And I think now that he's going through what he's going through with his wife, Gigi, basically threw that bait out for Gigi about the whole, opening up their church for gay people and how the young man almost committed suicide. So I think Bishop's like, okay, we need to figure out something. And then Charity coming to him and saying we should invite Carlton back. So I think Bishop's always had that heart.
And now they have that Miss Cross money, so they don't have to worry about.
Listen,
they
good.
Good to go.
They good. But I also think Bishop has a list of ways to get his wife pissed, and it's like letting Charity go. Where's she going?
They're playing
to the concert. Inviting Carlton back. Like, there's a lot of things that I feel like he's crossing off his list that I think he would do naturally. But these are things where he's like, I'm not gonna even get her approval.
I'm on your head.
I got you.
I'm gunning you.
So
I loved it.
It just feels like you get to a certain point, and maybe this is an idealist way. You get to a certain point as an adult, and especially being in the church, and you probably counsel other people and relationships in your head over marriages and stuff like that. You come to this point and you find out this, and it's like, okay, well, you're working through it, but in working through it, you're pissing each other off and creating more problems on top of that. And I know it's television, but it just seems like as a society, that's what we do in real life anyway. This is not, they're not pulling this out of thin air. So it's just kind of like,
I feel like we overuse the word petty, but petty definitely is a defining word for humans.
Yeah.
Like, naturally. I just think everybody, it's just egos. Like, a lot of egos and narcissism mixed up into just one big mess. And I feel like that's the family.
Yeah.
The Greenleaf family is just be honest with each other. And just sit down as a family and talk about the issues. But you can.
Yeah, you can.
And it's like they just don't want to because they feel like it's so much more of a hassle. But it's like once you get it out there.
Right. Well, it's hard work. Either way you look at it, it's hard work. So you tell the truth. It's hard to tell the truth. It's hard for you to swallow it.
Right.
You don't tell the truth. You cover it up. Now all these lies, and now you have to dig yourself out of the crap hole that you put yourself in. So now it's still work nonetheless.
Yeah.
So either way, it's work. It's just that you want to do the work on the back end. But it's just so when you look at that situation, it's like, man, like you're the head of the church, and yes, you're human. But on the flip side, it's just like you feel like you would know better.
Set an example.
Yeah. It's just like going to a chunky personal trainer. Like, you're not going to go to him. He's chunky.
Wow.
Well, you never know. They exist, though, for real.
They do.
That's a whole other show.
Maybe more support.
They for the support.
I just want to know the story. Like, let me know if you got into a car accident or something. Like, let me know why you're chunky. And then be like, all right, cool, I got you. Like, I've been there. Let's go.
Or
But
like,
don't just don't just show up and expect me to
Out the
like.
gate.
Yeah. No explanation.
At the door.
Like, I know what you're looking at. This is not. This
A
is the reason I
representation
am.
of my knowledge.
Yeah. This is not and this is the reason I'm here. But like, all right, cool, I can rock
got
with you.
you, yeah.
But don't like you chunky and I'm supposed to roll like. Like I'm on thirst traps like Mr. Here.
I can't.
But
You see his stories though, right?
I follow him. Shock strong.
I don't know what you're
You
talking
just
about.
the slow pan ups with the music.
Listen, I'm a man.
Shaka is the
I'm
king.
a man of God. Thank you very much. But
Hallelujah.
speaking of petty, we have
Segue.
Shaka's transitions and
Shaka's
segues.
segue.
Great.
but we have the whole Maricel issue. Here she is, invaluable, and no one's even asked her about her husband and what's going on. But we find out when we actually need something from her. So what do you guys think of? Well,
Can y'all get that roast? Where's my husband?
Right.
It was a great issue to see them address, though, especially in the
Right.
current climate. But what do you guys think of that whole exchange and just addressing that issue as well?
It was a very clever way to do it. It was
Yeah.
a very smart move. It was very like, hey, like, by the way, this is really going on.
They exist
And you
in
can
real time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like you can see a situation where it's really affecting someone where, they stayed away from the hospital because they were like, okay, look, if I go get treatment, I may get thrown back to wherever, you know what I mean? And that's unfortunate. And that is happening. That is actually happening.
And it's like the work of churches. I mean, they're going above and beyond to get them documented, but it really is. I know a lot of churches kind of came out, especially when these different orders were issued saying, you guys can come here for sanctuary. And so it was interesting to see.
Yeah,
it
isn't
actually.
California becoming a sanctuary state?
No, it's been a
we already been
sanctuary state.
sanctuary
Oh,
city,
nice.
but
That's
yeah.
right. That's right.
But-
or LA
but-
was becoming a sanctuary state.
Yeah,
something
but
like that.
churches were specifically saying, come here if you need to,
Right.
Yeah,
Awesome.
LA was pretty much saying that they're not going to abide by the federal laws that our current president has put out. But LA and California have been a sanctuary city. But
I didn't know we had
we're in a different. LA is a different state.
Is
'cause
yeah.
it's
It
you
is.
go to other places. This is. I mean, you could just look at vegans. Just look at the vegan lifestyle in LA compared to any other state. It's a different
We're in
beast.
a unique area.
Yeah, it's a
We're
very
area.
unique place.
In the chat, we got Jordan Provis saying, I feel Gigi's storyline is stalling. And I actually felt the same way this week, too. I felt this the last couple episodes. I'm like,
Okay.
because she's had such a you have some strong opinions on the matter?
Yeah, I just been seeing a lot of running and a lot of, track and just, I've been trying to think, a lot of just
Wouldn't you
sexing
want to, Mr.
and eye
Fox,
creep.
though?
Yeah.
It's been a lot of everything.
Because she had this strong overarching
Right.
purpose and it's just sort of lost right now.
But I also think it's kind of cool to see other characters, and we're getting to know the other people on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was great that Gigi had a purpose and she was going after Mac. But now I think it's kind of cool for her to sit back and we get to see Zora's story and Jacob and
This is true.
Lady Mae and Bishop. These are things that we weren't too focused on because it was all about Gigi.
yeah.
So I actually appreciate. Yes, her storyline is a little weak because she's been doing nothing but running, laying up in bed with her boo.
But maybe on top of that, maybe she should take a positive role, in the church, and we see her actually trying to do things more of the cheesier things, the more of the if the world were perfect type thing. Right. So we see her doing that, and then we see everything else being dysfunctional.
She's been kind of been put up.
I think she's still trying to figure it out. Because remember that
And what's
scene where
going on
she's
with
like, I
Darius?
don't know what I'm doing.
Does she want a baby or not?
A family. I think she's still trying
her
to
and
figure
Darius
it out.
need to go to church. Let's start there. Let's start.
And Charity and Jabari, it seems like they're advancing the relationship between them, but I'm not feeling how or why
more
it's advancing,
businessy
right?
this week.
Yeah. Yeah, how are you guys feeling about her going on tour and trying to make this work with Jabari?
I mean, it sucks that her mother is kind of in control of her life. And I mean, I get it. She has a baby, but she had a whole plan. And I like that Gigi stepped in and was like, well, let's just help her for the 2 weeks. Because remember in the season before, Charity always felt like she was the sister who couldn't do
Right.
anything.
Yeah.
And
Do anything.
she was
Don't
the one
help
that
me.
no one pays attention to me.
Marsha.
So I kind of feel like as parents, let's just help her out for the 2 weeks. She's going through a lot. Her husband just came out. He done ran away. Let's help baby
She
girl
said
out.
he's never coming
He's
back.
not
Never
coming
coming
back.
back.
He's not.
But let's just help her out for the 2 weeks. And I think it kind of sucks that her mother's like, no. Because what Lady Mae says goes, pretty
But
much.
she's stuck in her role. She's not
Yes.
allowing, her daughter to advance. You know what I
Right.
mean? And so I feel like that's where she's like, no, that's the knee-jerk reactions. Nope, I said it. Let's go.
You're
Move
here.
it on.
And I like that she admitted to her father. She's like, part of this is because I want to be with Jabari. I'm like, we know that, girl.
Right, okay.
That's why you're really mad at Kevin. Let's be real. But I feel bad that her mom is not letting her do what she really
So
wants.
why can't she take the child on tour with her again?
Because
You don't want to take no little baby on no
I know you
scandalous
don't.
tour.
I know you
It was a
don't
newborn,
want to,
man.
but if
Well,
you
she
if you
could
really
drag.
want to
No,
do
you
it,
could.
Right.
Yes.
Well, her help is
Marisol,
Marisol. Her husband is
and
now
Marisol
6.
can't come on tour with her, so now it's just going to be so she
And
can't.
Kevin.
So now,
And
and
she-
Kevin's just like, I'm out.
Fuck it.
And I think they don't.
That's what he said. Literally.
He said, what?
damn.
He said, what baby?
That's what
Yeah.
he said.
What baby I have?
That's right. Am I married? I didn't know.
I didn't know. I made a whole baby.
Right.
But
We're 9 months ago.
her sister and her dad are like, well, let's just step up for the 2 weeks
Right.
until she can actually go on tour. And Lady Mae's like, no. But she just doesn't want her daughter going down with Jabari anyway. So
Well, I think
Land of fornication.
we'll start to get into our predictions.
Charity
But-
just wants some.
But actually, any predictions? Can you give us
should
any
get a
predictions
vibrator and call it a
for,
day.
for Noah on Greenleaf?
Just
Do you have
saying,
any?
yeah.
Oh, wait, what am I?
I'm not in it.
We're just saying.
She needs to get a vibrator.
Right. Charity
Okay.
wants something that bad. Just get a vibrator. It's not that bad. Safe sex.
Yeah, but don't. According to Patty Stanger, don't do it too much because you'll burn it out.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
What? Burn what out?
You know.
Your vagina?
That thing.
You guys,
Fat.
you guys in the chat are getting some interesting lessons here tonight on Greenleaf.
It's safe sex.
The
You don't have to
church
worry
show.
about feelings.
The church show.
on the Family Friendly Network.
And I creep.
And I creep. Hey, we're all human.
I'm
It's
like,
safe,
I
it's
just,
safe sex.
that's what I learned. That's what she told. She told
burn it out.
Oh my God.
Burn it out.
Well,
I'm done.
Like,
There's no segue for that. There's no.
like you got sunburned. Like, you burn it out.
There's no. Are we all right?
Are you okay?
911. Oh my
TK
God.
Put your hands up.
Follow her. At
Put
TK
your
Trinidad.
hands up. Hands up, don't shoot.
Kiki Boom Boom. Raquel Hub TV. Shaka Strong.
You know.
I am Benjamin Patterson.
Right. Welcome to Black and White.
Welcome to Greenleaf. So, what predictions might you have for Noah? And also, are you working on anything currently?
So to answer the first question, I believe that there will be a knock on the door. And everybody will be just like, whatever, you know. She's going to open that door. She's going to lose some hair over it. That's all I'm going to say. She's going to be like,
Oh yeah.
that's what I think.
Okay.
And Noah's in the church, so she should bang down Noah.
Yeah, no, it's yeah.
Yeah, that's my prediction.
Nice. And then for
That's
you,
my prediction.
actor Ben Patterson, what are you working
As
on?
me,
these days?
actor Ben Patterson. I actually just finished working on an untitled project, scripted film. So I'm waiting. Once we hear a little bit more about that, you can find out about it. Benjamin Patterson all day, or Ben Just Creates on Twitter. And then musically, I've just finished the last track on the current project, so they'll be on iTunes by the end of October. Yeah,
Amazing.
Yeah, so,
I
and then-
agree.
Yeah, and then the BTS Awards is this Sunday. I think if you go to btsawards.com, people that are in Los Angeles can actually go and donate, or they can go and buy tickets to be at the actual event. I know Frank Ocean's performing. I know Kelly Osbourne's a presenter.
Nice.
Is there a way to see it if you can't make it?
I don't know. I'm not
Like
sure
a
if
live
it's gonna be.
stream?
I don't know if it's gonna be televised. I think, obviously with like Instagram and Facebook Live and things like that, people will be doing that. But actually, because I'm hosting, I will not be. I'll be like, up on.
Now,
Yeah.
Well, if you need an assistant to get you,
you know, Shaka.
these things can happen. So yeah. So
Shaka will be there with his
nice.
shirt off. Thirst trapping.
He's laughing, but I'm
awards.
serious.
Yeah.
Kelly Osbourne's gonna be there.
Yeah,
Lisa
she-
Gibbons.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah.
She's a
Awesome.
presenter
Come
as
on,
well.
Google.
Okay, awesome.
I mean, I'm
Do
just
your Googles.
I mean,
Google.
got a laptop. Might as well put it to work.
Thank you, TK Trinidad.
Right. Don't burn it out.
They say y'all better chill out on the panel. You two trying to Disney Channel everybody these days.
Probably.
I know we wake up with the show's like completely gone tomorrow.
Ooh, child.
Predictions for you?
Wowzers. So next week is the season finale, and we see that everything crazy is going to take place at the Cotillion.
The Cotillion.
The Cotillion.
That's
Really?
an A's word.
That's where it's going to go.
Cotillion.
That's where it's going down. The
The
Cotillion.
Cotillion. Everything is going down. So we see in the preview that Isaiah, everything that we've kind of been predicting, Isaiah is going to be disrespectful to Sophia or put his hands on Dora, where her family is now in this vicinity, and
whooped
maybe
on.
Daddy gonna do something finally.
Daddy
and
needs to do something.
Isaiah gonna get that ass beat. El DeBarge will be out the building.
Control, Alt, Delete.
Good night.
Canceled.
Our girl Charity looks like she won't be having to use that battery operated boyfriend
Oh, wait.
anymore. She'll
magic
be-
stick.
She won't have to use her dresser boyfriend, in the drawer. She'll be getting some from Jabari finally. Hopefully it goes well, because we see that Kevin's gonna try to bring his trifling ass back.
Ooh, shocked by that though, right?
Which is crazy, because we thought he would never come back. So I think in
Never.
the previews it's gonna be, she's gonna think she's gonna make it to that point with Jabari, but he's gonna throw a wrench in there and try to come back and be the dad of the year.
He didn't grow his hair out.
We're gonna
grew
see,
a beard.
we see Mavis come back. Miss Oprah's coming back for the season finale. I just think next week is gonna be a really crazy. Like, I feel like everything is going to blow up at the Cotillion. That's all I got. Everything.
I retweet. And I need to see Kevin, because me and him are about to fight actually.
need
Like,
some
I'm gonna
words.
text
Yeah,
him and
she's
be like,
been-
so
yeah, on
sorry,
Kevin.
we need to talk. But I do literally retweet everything that Kiki said, because she did just run down everything. But no, you did great job. I tried. But I don't think Jabari's gonna give it up to Charity. I think he's gonna hold her up again. I don't think he really wants Charity like that. I don't at all. I just don't catch that vibe between them
I
at
don't
all.
get the vibe, but that preview, they
I
were pretty
mean,
far
When
along.
it's in your face. Ooh.
I mean, maybe we'll see. I guess, because sometimes things get caught up.
What are you supposed to do when it's in your face?
Burn it out,
Hey,
because it was there.
I'm just saying. Hey, thank you.
505 coming at you.
505.
505.
So I retweet everything. that these ladies are saying. But I think maybe Jabari and Charity do it, but Jabari's just not that good. Like, you know, like you like, oh, and you laying there, you're like, oh, that's true.
I've listened to TK.
And then you look up at God, you're like, really, God?
And it's, you know, and it be
So you
like
think that was
that.
Yeah, like,
You know when you've been
That's such a
you've been waiting
letdown.
for so long.
Yes.
And
you
it's like,
think it's
damn.
amazing.
And then you're there and you're just like, oh.
So he might actually drive her back to Kevin, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Or just live her
well.
life and be a single mother and
say, forget
Burn it out.
burn it out.
Oh, God. Well, because that would suck. No, I hope.
Isn't that's the
I
worst
thought
thing
that
ever.
was gonna happen. I
happens.
felt that way too, though. I thought like, okay, it's not gonna happen at all, or they're gonna sleep together, and this is gonna be terrible.
That chemistry may not be. You know, some people just don't flow with each other.
That's why you need to get references sometimes.
You know
so.
what?
Yeah.
And then like the super cute ones sometimes just don't.
Oh,
be.
the super cute ones are the worst ones. They don't be doing the work though.
They're lazy.
Hey,
So lazy.
Hey, now. I'm gonna say something for the super cute ones out there.
Ben said I'm turned up. Actually,
Because they're cute and they don't have to do the work. But people in the chat said they see Darius versus Noah.
hey,
Darius versus
Look.
Noah.
I'm gonna be on that chat room.
right? Yeah. Ben said,
We got a lot
let
of
me know about you.
Noah fans. A lot of Noah fans.
They want you to take out Darius.
Hey,
Wait, somebody said I don't think Charity is all that good either. Oh, well that's why Kevin left, huh? Kevin said, "I'm
She
sorry,
has been doing her
I gotta
job.
change my entire life."
They
Okay.
said, Shaka, you spilled your drink. You were so.
Not
You know,
Charity's
yeah.
not
And you know
that
what?
good.
They might just both be awkward and nervous. Where it just it
Awkward
might
nervous
not.
as a grown person?
What was
yeah,
that?
that's eighth grade.
Well, you know, you have a
Look,
crush on someone, and
that's eighth
Look,
grade.
look,
Inhuman.
look,
TK is
look.
inhuman.
And Charity doesn't
Look,
seem like she's
if
been
you
with
know how to cook, right,
Right.
and
do you
you've been
mean?
practicing on cooking for a long period of time, and then
I'm
you
a-
have a new boo,
Yeah.
and you cook, then you better cook.
Wait, no,
I'm
no,
a
no,
try.
no.
Wait,
You don't put extra sauce in
No,
there.
no.
Because sometimes
I'm
some
coming with the
people's-
game hand. I'm
Yeah.
coming with the yams.
Ben said I'm
But
locked
I
and
get the
You
sense
loaded.
putting it
Charity-
down and laying in work.
No, but I get the
Whoa.
sense that Charity's not been with that many people.
Right, I feel like it's
Or
been
she might have
Kevin.
only been with Kevin. Like
That's
I
true.
get
That's
a
true.
very,
She might be awkward and weird.
just based on her
Then she
character.
needs to put on
it
some
seems-
Mr. Marcus videos and
Yo,
learn some
Which is the benefit.
Well, so predictions.
Well, no, but the benefit.
You got some knowledge, girl.
And that's why she.
Did you say Mr. Marcus?
She said
She
Mr.
should have tried it out some more
Should've
with
said
some other
Nat Turner.
people.
That's
She
like-
would know wait, what?
That's like Billy Blanks.
I think, yeah.
It's over.
Are we
The show
talking
is
Have
over.
we gone historical figures now? No, I'm confused. But my prediction for next week.
I know. Go ahead, Shaka. 'Cause
I
this is
believe
wild.
I believe the bishop will sleep with Rochelle.
Thank you.
I think the bishop will sleep with Rochelle. What else do we have? I retweet everything that Kiki Boom Boom said. I think you addressed everything else.
I think
And
so.
then
I'm
Charity
sorry.
wouldn't suck if she was with some other people.
Well, this has been quite the
I
enlightening and
think Bishop-
eye-opening episode of Greenleaf.
Right.
To the people in the chat,
You don't know Mr. Marcus is looking
so-
up.
I was going to say we apologize. CTK.
We're gonna have to give an official apology and check out her Twitter if you guys have any comments you guys want to write.
Right.
You want to know
down.
why? Next week is the season finale,
Yeah.
and we're really excited. So
So TK's been drinking, but so,
No, she's not. We're all
dropping
just
some
it's-
knowledge
we're
on
just
you.
turned
Been
up.
I'm like,
dropping
what's
some
in
bombs.
this?
It's
We
dropping some bombs.
you need to
TK
grip
said
with
Mr. Marcus.
Mr. Marcus with the
Turner.
Timbos.
Good
Yeah, and the
night.
hat turned backwards.
The hat.
Well, on that note, from Mr. Marcus to Ben Patterson, thank you so
Hey,
much. for
I am
joining
always
us.
honored to come here.
Thank you.
This is my energy. You are on my. I open air hug y'all.
Please come in and hang out with us.
Again.
Laughing helps, let me tell you. And it was a great episode.
Yes, it
Yeah.
was.
Your
was.
predictions, I think you're going to be very, 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 very
my gosh.
happily surprised.
Okay.
Chat room.
All right, Noah versus Darius. I feel like that's.
Well, as always, guys, my name is Shaka Smith. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at Shaka Strong.
Woo! You can find me on everything at TK Trinidad.
She's crazy. My name is Rocky Harris, and you can find me on all social media at Raquel Harris TV.
Shout out to Carmen Williams. She said, hands down, my favorite panel. I'm Nakia Monet. You can find me on all social media at Kiki Boom Boom.
Yeah, hit up those stories, though, on IG, for real.
Mr. Patterson, where can they find you?
Yes, I am Benjamin Patterson. You can find me at Instagram at Benjamin Patterson all day, and on Twitter at Ben Just Creates.
And check out btsawards.com to see
right.
Mr. Patterson this weekend.
Yes.
Shout out to the chat.
Bye.
Bye.
Producers Maria Menounos, Dario Kristen, Tiana Hobson, Kevin Undergaro, and the entire BHL crew, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us at info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I'm your BHL announcer, Scipio. Instagram me at Planet Scipio. Thank you for tuning in.
Hollywood redefined.
The views expressed here are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.